about all the very rare books and stuff that those colleges have, that those Ivy League colleges and what. And I'm like, what am I missing from these Ivy League colleges? I want to be like somebody that's as smart as an Ivy Leaguer or what. And you can do a lot of stuff. You can see like you can look at their campus from the computer and whatnot, but nothing is like actually attending and actually going through the Ivy League. You can learn everything you want about it, but to be in it's a different thing and whatnot. But I was just thinking about how they have all these libraries and I've heard that they have rare, super rare books and things and they have curriculums and things that are very hard to find. Well, you won't find it elsewhere in the world. That's where you would go to get it. And it costs a lot of money to get those. Right? So I'm sort of one of these people that obviously I wasn't lucky enough to attend Ivy League. I never made it. I didn't even graduate high school. But I've always had a computer and well, I've always admired Ivy Leaguers and whatnot, and I always want to learn. And I'm so bored, there's nothing to do. So I was like, well, how can I even think about Ivy League if I am not learning a new fact? Okay. We got a good refresher. We got Brown, Columbia, and Columbia is a brand I'm a huge supporter. Like there's other brands you've heard me say like I'm iffy about saying if I support them, but Columbia is one of those brands I love. But it's also that the uh, university or college or whatnot. Cornell, Dartmouth, Harvard. You got Penn, Princeton, Yale. So these are the ones that you remember. Those ones there. And I've one fact about the Ivy League is what is it? Well, I was talking. Everybody knows the one about the plant and everything, the green and whatnot. Um, oh, it's yeah, a certain amount. It's all in one specific area or whatever. All in the around the same areas, same area. They're the one of the most famous. I think, if not the most famous group of schools or whatnot. And they're like a league of schools, and they call themselves the Ivy League. They have a really nice brand and whatnot, I guess you would say. Uh, it's sort of like America's Best. It's a very renowned thing if you can hold degrees from there and whatnot. Hard to, not even Mark Zuckerberg made it through. And he's used the term Ivy League in much of his productions, and it's used much to his credibility. But he never, I don't think, but he might have went back and got it. But even he's had his struggles with the Ivy League. It's hard to obtain. But there is many that have and do. It's a whole separate thing. He wanted to create Facebook. You know, when I was younger, I used to think, oh, he outdid Ivy League and he created Facebook. Well, no, he just wanted to focus on that one tool that was going to make him a lot of money, but he's still getting the degree and whatnot is a whole nother unlocking of your the powers and whatnot that invest in you in your life or whatever. You unlock things in your brain. I'm sure there's things that would be unlocked for sure. It would be well worth the money if you had it. Yeah, you got different coats of arms for the different schools and whatnot. So I think, I never understood it when I was a kid, but generally, like, you would more go for the school that you like their coat of arms and whatnot that went with your style of life. Like, what would the one my favorite coat of arms? I always talk about Harvard, how I do like Harvard because I do like their coat of arms. It's sort of this coat of arms would go well on like a nice sweater or something, a nice warm sweater. And I like nice warm sweaters because sweaters you can get sweaters in big varieties or whatever. You got chubby people in sweaters and whatnot, right? Because you got people that sit down on their butt a lot and they might be chubby and whatnot, and the sweaters will fit them. It's an easier thing to get sweaters and whatnot. Columbia looks like more of a place they wear a lot of polos sometimes, maybe or whatnot. Maybe not. Who knows? You'd have to tell me. Penn looks like a very Joe Biden-y place, like um, with that fish there and whatnot. It looks like sort of a if you were. It looks like to me, it looks like a more rednecky place. The smart rednecks go to Penn. It looks like that. Let's see, Cornell. You got Cornell. That one comes across more of an African American type of place. Cornell does. And Brown. That one would be a good choice for like East Indian people, I think. Princeton is a little, I think, a little bit like Harvard, but more flashier than to be smarter. I think Harvard's more the nerds, and Princeton's more like the jockier, smart ones. The sort of the jockier, smarter, like Richies. And Yale, I think, is like that, like Greek people or whatever. They like doing those parties and whatnot or whatever, and yada yada. I don't know. And Dartmouth's more of like a quiet kid or whatever that loves the American history and land and whatnot. It looks like I don't know. You tell me. But that's what I get from the coat of arms. That like he's more, the historians. Dartmouth looks like more of a historian sort of place. Look at this tree. I love trees like that. I love the North. The North is very structured because you're right there on the main heartland. More than the heartland, it's sort of like everything all in between. It's the main, everything all up north and whatnot. It's sort of the main part of the continent. If you look at the continent, and the rest are sort of at the edge of the continent. You know, like this is kind of the center of the continent, all right here, right? Anyways,